Hello dear students, this is still teacher Richard. We are still on the circulatory system in biology senior 6 under the new curriculum of competence-based education of Canada Education Board. Now we are moving to the closed circulatory system. We are going to see the types of closed circulatory system. Last time we saw the closed circulatory system and we saw the open circulatory system, and the circulatory system has exactly some advantages over the open circulatory system. Let's see them first. Advantages of closed circulatory system over open circulatory system. Okay. The first advantage is that here blood in closed circulatory system has higher pressure. Blood moves with high pressure. Because of this pressure, the animal has the control of where the blood is going to reach in all parts of the body. The second point, the second advantage is that all parts of the body are fully oxygenated, or they get full oxygen. All parts of the body get oxygenated than in open circulatory system. Here there is also the control of distribution of blood. Okay, control of distribution of blood. Now, after these advantages, which are found on the closed circulatory system, but which cannot be found on the open circulatory system, it means the closed circulatory system is more evolved than the open circulatory system. I think you can understand that through the theorems of evolution. We are now moving to the types of closed circulatory system. Types of closed circulatory system. We have different types of closed circulatory system. The first one is a single circulation. We have a single circulation. Single circulation. This one is mainly found in fishes. Mainly found in fishes. We have a double partial circulatory system. Double partial. mainly found in amphibians, and some reptiles. You have also complete double circulation. Complete double circulation, mainly found in birds and mammals. Some birds and these are the three types of closed circulatory system. You can have the single circulation, double partial circulation, and the complete double circulation. Dear students, we are now going to see all these in details. Single, what's double, and what's complete double. Okay, the single circulation in fishes, it's what we are going to describe. After we described the difference between single circulation and other circulations, double partial and partial, we are now going to see what single circulation in fishes works. Its structure, okay? In fishes, blood comes from the heart, goes to the gills, comes from the gills, and go to the body. From the body, come back to the heart. But we are going to see how it works, okay? So, in fishes, the heart is two-chambered. It has one ventricle and one atrium, and here the deoxygenated blood is pumped by the ventricle to the gills, where it gets oxygenated and going to the body before returning back to the heart. So I'm going to show you using this graph. Dear students, like I told you, I'm going to use this diagram to explain all this. Blood comes from the ventricle. This ventricle of the fish pumps blood to the gills. It's where the blood of the fishes gets oxygenated. Okay? Through this artery, blood is carried to the capillaries, to the gills capillaries, where it gets oxygenated. You can see that here we have a blue color which shows a venous blood which is not oxygenated, blood filled with carbon dioxide, and here through the gill capillaries this blood gets oxygenated, and you can see that the color changes to red, which means a fully oxygenated blood From the gill capillaries, blood is carried back to the body, okay? And through the body, blood is coming through the body, and blood which is getting venous, which is getting carbon dioxide, is coming back through the veins. It's coming back to the atrium. And from the atrium, this valve here opens so that blood is now filled into the ventricle. The ventricle once again pumps blood, and the blood makes all this cycle. And why do we say that it's a single circulation? It's that blood passes through the heart, through this heart. Blood passes here only once to complete a full circulation, to mean from the reoxygenation to the systemic capillaries to the heart, it all makes a single way. It's a single way. That's why we say it's a single circulation. This is for fishes, and something that we can add here is that blood passes through the heart only once before passes to the heart only once before completing the full circulation. So that's why it's called a single circulation, because blood will pass here only once to make a full circulation cycle. So now we can move to the second circulation type. And remember that all this that we are saying, all this that we are describing are under the closed circulation. Now, dear students, we are going to double partial circulation. Double partial circulation. The double partial circulation is another type of closed circulation and is very common to the amphibians. It's common to the amphibians, e.g., can say the amphibians, yes. The double partial circulation, why do we say it's double then partial circulation? It's because the amphibians, the double partial circulation is another type of closed circulation. It's another type of closed circulation where there is present only one ventricle where the heart possesses one ventricle and two atria. This means that the venous blood and oxygenated blood in the ventricle gets some mixing, okay? So we are going to see how it works, why it is double partial. There is mixing of blood, partial mixing of blood in when we say mixing of blood in ventricle, we say we are referring to oxygenated blood and venous blood. So how does it work? We are going to see this by using this diagram here. You can see that it's of course of the amphibian. We are going to see how it works. First of all, blood comes from the body. From the body using this channel, this vessel, which is vena cava. It brings blood to the right atrium. This is right atrium. And from the right atrium, blood is pumped to the ventricle. We don't have left ventricle and right ventricle because I said there is only one ventricle, and blood is pumped from the atria to the ventricle. From the ventricle, blood is pumped to the lungs through the semilunar valve. Blood is pumped to the lungs to be oxygenated, and after getting to the lungs and to the skin capillaries, I said to the lungs and to the skin capillaries because amphibians gas exchange is through skin and lungs. That's why here, where blood gets oxygenated, I say there is lung and skin capillaries. After getting oxygenated, blood returns back to the heart through the pulmonary vein, and blood enters into the left atria, where it is pumped to the ventricle again. To the ventricle, I don't say left ventricle or right ventricle because I said you have one ventricle. You can see that there is some mixing of venous blood and oxygenated blood. That's why you say it's a double partial. Blood pass to the heart twice before completing the full cycle, the full circulation cycle, but there is mixing of venous blood and oxygenated blood in the ventricle. And this is certainly why we call it double partial circulation. It's double because blood passes to the heart twice, and it's partial because we only have one ventricle where there can be mixing of these two types of blood in the ventricle. So dear students, we are ending this by here, but before I'm going to leave some exercise. It's upon what we saw. You will state the difference between open and closed circulatory system. Second, dear students, you will say the advantages. What are the advantages for the animal to have a closed of having a closed circulatory system to an animal. Thank you, dear students. You will have to subscribe for this channel. It's Kalam TV. And for more details, you will go to www.omeni.net. And this assignment, its answers and other assignments that other students have answered are on this website. Dear students, I would like you to invite to be on this website because it's where you will find other students, your classmates, because here we are in a class. So thank you for today. Next time we will see what is the closed circulatory system to the mammalians, which is complete double. Thank you.